Houston. Mike, I'm going back to you first on this one. How does Houston get past Duke and then win a national championship against Auburn or Florida?
I mean, Houston's going to have to fight to play their style. They're going to have to keep games low possession. They're going to have to really bother their opponents with their physicality. That's going to be how I think they advance. And then I think they're going to need some, what we saw from Sharp tonight, and maybe it's Cryer, maybe it's Uzan. If you get all three of them on one night, that's really dangerous. Because again, I don't know. I'm not sure there's a team that I trust more out of these four teams in a close game, because I trust them probably out of all four teams to get a stop if they need it. I think that's huge. And Kelvin Sampson, we saw it in the Purdue game. I mean, there's a lot. All four of these guys are tacticians. They are with the clipboard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really are. And so we've just seen so many times with Kelvin and the staff be able to go to something late, draw it up. Like, I think I trust them the most probably in a close game. It's just if they can keep it close with Duke. And we've just seen Duke. Duke hasn't really been in that scenario too many times. So that's going to be the way they advance. And then I think, honestly, I would probably take Houston over Auburn and Florida right now. If I were to like reseed these four going into the Final Four, it'd probably I'd say be Duke, Houston, maybe 1-2. It sounds crazy, but being there live and watching Houston do what they do, it's nuts.
I think you can make the argument either way with Houston or Auburn. But I'm with you on kind of the thought process. It's a simple answer, but it kind of goes to what you're saying. Like, they have to assert themselves defensively. Like, their defense has to be what wins games for them. Their defense has to take Duke out of what they want to be able to do. They have to be able to make a team that is bigger and more physical than them uncomfortable. If they can't do that, then they're not going to be able to beat Duke, and they're not going to be able to beat Auburn. They have to find a way to make teams that are more talented and more athletic than them uncomfortable. They did it in the Big 12, where I don't know if there are necessarily teams that kind of are at the advantage that some of these teams in the Final Four are in terms of the size and the length and athleticism. They got to make you uncomfortable. If they can't make you uncomfortable, and this turns into a game that is played in the high 70s, I don't think that Houston can win a game like that.
So I agree with both of you, but I'm going to flip it a little bit. Like, if they don't make shots, they got zero chance, because they're not going to be able, as good as they are defensively, they're not going to be able to hold Duke down. So they better be able to score. And they need guys like Sharp and Cryer and Uzan. Like, those guys are going to have to make shots, or else Houston, their defense can be as good as the number one defense in the country. It doesn't matter. You're not going to hold Duke down.
Yeah, but all I'm picturing in my head is watching the second half where John Shire went after Mark Sears on like every single possession over and over and over again, and thinking about 6'1" LJ Cryer and who you put him on in that Duke start. Like, do you put him on Proctor? Yeah. You can't put him on Knipple. Do you put him on Sion James and hope? Like, that's what Kelvin Sampson is going to have to try to figure out there. And I thought, like, this is a different topic, but I thought what John Shire did coaching that game against Alabama was a ridiculous coaching performance. Like, he was manipulating that game as well as any coach that I've seen in person this season.